Hi everyone and welcome to our webinar. We're delighted to see so many of you joining us from all over the world. We've got Marit in Finland, Kelly in USA. There are people from Europe, the Americas, all over. So a huge welcome to you all. So today's webinar is going to be all about taking a pulse check. Let's just take a beat and see what we've been doing this year. There's been so many improvements, and many of you have been on webinars before and you'll have heard all of these firsthand. Some of you are joining today that maybe haven't heard about them, so we're going to show you all the developments and also a sneaky peek of what's coming down the road. Of course, I'm not on my own in our webinar. We do in fact have Ivan from our support team. Hi to Ivan. How are you, Ivan?
Hello from sunny Helsinki. Like you said, we had a lot of interesting things released this year. So if you have questions about any of them, Louise's deck, which will be sent out after the webinar, includes links to examples and support articles, but you're always welcome to ask questions as we go.
Brilliant, Ivan. And I know that you're super fast with your fingers. So if anyone's got any account queries, pop them in the chat. And if you've got any questions, pop them in the chat and we'll put them on the screen. Any comments, any ideas, sparks, anything, we love to hear from you. So thanks for your help, Ivan. We'll pop you back in the green room where you'll be answering all of those questions. And if you wouldn't mind, we'd love to ask you to join us at the end just to see if there's any particular feedback. Thanks very much. And as you can see from that picture, I am most certainly not on my own. I am delighted to be joined by the effervescent, the wonderful Claudia Fisanotti, who joins us from Italy. Hello, Claudia.
Thank you, Louise, for the wonderful presentation. So welcome, everyone. We are thrilled to have you with us for this amazing webinar. Today's session is about taking stock of what sorry, my English is waving goodbye. I restart. So today's session is about taking stock of what we explored so far with ThingLink, discovering exciting new updates and looking ahead to inspiring ways to elevate our amazing students' engagement. I think today is going to be amazing, and I think we're going to discover something that you've never seen before, right, Louise?
Absolutely. So yeah, stay tuned, as they say. So we've got Lisa, who's joining us from London. Hi, Lisa. Great to see you. And Kang Mao, that's joining us from Taiwan. Thank you again. Do share all of your comments. And as Ivan mentioned, after the webinar, about 30 minutes or so, we always have a little bit of a delay in case we need to put some extra links in. But you'll receive an email that'll have the deck that you're seeing here today with all of the links, all of the examples, other helpful resources. And if you've got any comments at all, you can just hit reply to that email and get in touch with us. We love to hear from you. Hi, Jessica, who's joining us from Ohio. So let's get started. So the first things that we wanted to show you was, ooh, look at that. I discovered playing around with ThingLink and Canva that if you create a 3D model in ThingLink, you can right click and paste it into a Canva deck and it's all live. Look, and you can even use a transparent background on your 3D model. And then of course you can see the photo behind the ThingLink. So wow. Little helpful tip there. I might be showing people a little bit more. It's a bit of a clue as to what's coming further on down the line. Hi, Luigi. Luigi's joining us there from Italy as well. So the summer pulse check, let's take a bit of a beat. There has been so many great developments. Before we dive into those though, we thought it would be good to just talk about some of our favorite ThingLink projects and some of the favorites from the team as well. So
Louise, what's your favorite ThingLink?
Oh, well, I'll show you my favorite ThingLink after you've shown us yours from the from the people who have been sharing their ideas. But my favorite ThingLink projects that I've been working on recently, I've got a couple to show you here. So the first one is, if you follow me on social media, you'll have known that I've been going barista crazy instantly. But I love this one. So I started using 360 videos, and I was using VO3 with Google, and I was using Canva videos. And this ThingLink is really lovely, interactive.
Wow.
It just brings you chills. It's
Yeah.
the in the life of a barista, and you can click on, the settings here and see about the perfect grind. You've got getting your morning espresso dialed in, and all of these videos didn't have to pay for. The majority of them were in Canva, but I just love this kind of multimodal way. Smells almost, you can almost
Yes.
smell those
Yes.
CCs. So then I use the tour tag to then flip into the rush hour scene. And again, we've got these lovely little tags using the text and media tags. And then you can go on to the close down as well. So this is just an interactive 360 that I've created. And you can hop on through the scenes at the bottom as well. It can be shared, embedded. I had lots of fun with that, using a sort of tech stack and, trying to make it really super fun. But my favorite ThingLink of all of them, I think, this moment, and I can just see that some other of our colleagues are joining us, Mini Course Generator there, and Anna's joining us as well. We've always believed in the power of ThingLink for really bringing student voices to life. And even more so in the era of AI, the ability to create authentic experiences. And the one I've just shown you there was created with some AI videos, Canva videos. But this one here, again, from the Little Barista project I've been working on. So I wanted to show how easy it was to embed student voices. And here, in his own words, which is the most powerful medium of all.
Being a barista is one of those jobs people sometimes underestimate. They think it's just pushing buttons and pouring lattes, but honestly, it's so much more. One of the best parts is the rhythm of the day. There's something really satisfying with that first dial in. The moment your espresso shot hits that perfect flow, you feel like, yes, we're on. And
how cool is that? So that's another form of the text and media tag. I used a picture, used it with Canva to turn it into a video, uploaded the audio, and added the subtitles with it. And for me, that just brings student kind of voices to life. Got question come through already. You are unfamiliar with the setting up in the sidebar. Well, all I've done with that one is that that's just part of the image. So this is actually just a Canva image, and I've created that sidebar and then made placeholders for the tags in Canva, downloaded the whole thing as an image, and it's actually 3 different images in 3 different slides. But I used the same format and just switched out the background. So it's as easy as that. So thank you, Kelly, for that question. If you need any other help, we're really happy to jump on a call and show you how to do that. But super easy, just knowing where to put tags in the placements. So Claudia, that was my favorite ones, I think, that I've created so far. But tell us about yours.
So this is one of my latest creation in ThingLink. I love using ThingLink because I feel that I can, express myself freely. I can be creative and at the same time achieve my goals. So basically, this is it's something that it's a storytelling. It's immersive storytelling that meets whodunit. So
Whodunit.
Yeah.
Shall we show everyone what's on this? So
yes,
I just
please.
hop on over.
You. So basically,
talk us through it.
Sorry, what did you say?
Talk us through it.
Yeah, of course. So basically, here we have a special setting that is Paris in the 1920s, and there is something a little bit wrong because something happened in the theater. Can you press play?
Yeah.
Thank you. And so we got an announcement online too. So on the spot number 2, we got
Ladies and gentlemen, may we kindly have your attention. We are deeply sorry to inform you that due to a serious and unfortunate event, tonight's performance has been cancelled. There will be no show this evening. We understand how disappointing this may be, and we truly appreciate your patience and understanding in this difficult moment. Further details regarding the cancellation will be available in tomorrow's newspaper.
Dun,
Brilliant.
dun, dun. So we find ourselves in medias res. What happened? So amazing actress died. Stage start. So she's not with us anymore. What happened to her? Well, the plot thickens and it unravels while students discover the story behind the murder. So Louise, can
The
you
opulent
show?
velvet-lined dressing room of Mademoiselle.
Yeah, so there's the radio take, and then there's the victim. So there's basically the background of the victim, and then we have, so here we got somebody talking about her, and ciao Francesco, and then we have the crime scene, and in the crime scene you've got all the mysterious objects that help detective Dubois to find the murderer. So yeah, so that's
Amazing.
thank you.
It's so great. So this is really inspiring students then to create their own stories and find out more. Lara, lots of love coming through on the chat.
Thank
Lara,
you, Lara. Ciao.
amazing. And ciao, Francesco. Tutti Francesco is joining us, and Lara as well. That's brilliant, Claudia. And then you can just share this. And how would you share that with students? Would you put it in Google Classroom? Or
Yeah, I can totally put it in Google Classroom or share the ThingLink straight away, you know. And then that can be like a template. So it's the how it's done, and then students can create their own. Of course, we're not talking about middle schoolers, we're talking about high schoolers, but yeah, so that can be like a, for instance, with up smashing within Canva and ThingLink, and then you can play with it. Whodunit is fun because students love it, and of course it doesn't have to be macabre, it has to be like fun and engaging like this one. So yeah.
amazing. Thanks for that, Claudia. So we've mentioned Michelle before, and if we talked about our hands down favorite ThingLink from the community of ThingLink creators, then we couldn't not agree that El Michelle's was just phenomenal. So if you get the deck in the email, you'll be able to click on the link there and have a look at El Michelle's profile. But she came onto a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and she presented this example, which is from the Tallahassee Future Leaders Academy. And what's so special about this is that it's not just student CVs or interactive CVs or interactive portfolios, but what El Michelle talked about was the power of enabling students to be immersive journaling their learning process while they were completing work experience placements over the summer. And every single hotspot here takes you to that student's videos. I can click on any of them. Every single one is just phenomenal. And, you know, on behalf of the whole team at ThingLink and the community, we really do tip our hats and give a huge shout out to El Michelle and the students particularly, who have put these together. So each student created a video, but then they also created their own kind of immersive portfolios, which has got resumes in, but interviews with the placements, reflections. So they really did immerse themselves in recording their process of learning and reflection, which is metacognition in itself, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, you particularly were blown away by it. I think there was almost a tear that was
because you know, it's just so rare that we actually give students the possibility to, you know, to show who they really are and to speak their voice, speak their emotion, and say, yeah, today was a great day because, or today I was upset because, and we need to listen to them more. And this is an amazing, I got chills right now because I remember the webinar, and that was just perfect from the beginning to the end. And we saw students glow, we saw students achieve, and we saw students happy, sad, upset, but they gave us the reason and we listened to them. And that was just something major that I've never witnessed before. And I was very, very emotional because I felt this is the way. This is the way for education, for teachers to help students achieve their potential and to find their voices in the world. Amazing.
And you can't get more of an authentic assessment.
No,
And
no,
we're not educating students to take exams here. It's about
no.
encouraging them to mature in their own learning environments.
Yeah,
And how
exactly.
they learn, and that's just super powerful. All of the links for these are in the chat, and you can also go and watch any of the webinars again if you want to catch up with that live and direct. So out of the other webinars we did, there was another one that you particularly wanted to call out, Claudia, and you made a little thing link here to show all about the Leo Academy Trust, which was a huge district approach.
Yes.
Learning.
Leo Academy's Trust was like a success story that I would like to tell. So basically, Leo Academy Trust are a selection of 11 different schools. So it became a district where Cheryl, that I like say hi to Cheryl because we need more Cheryl in our life. So made everything possible. So basically what Cheryl did was to bring technology into the classroom, but not just, you say, yeah, I've got technology. No, 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 no. This was amazing because both teachers and students were able to find themselves, in a different scenario. They use technology to glow, to develop their knowledge and understanding. And it was like, it was followed step by step. This is not something that Leo Academy Trust like took lightly. So basically they were followed step by step, and these are the results, outperforming national average. How? Well, this is a win-win situation. We've got teachers thriving, we've got students achieving their potential, and we've got people trusting each other and building knowledge and understanding through technology, and of course social emotional learning and civics. That's amazing. And you see, teachers don't waste their time preparing lessons because they use AI, they use ThingLink, they use other tools, to help them achieve what they want to achieve. Basically, they're not wasting their time with silly bureaucracy because they're taking care of students. And you remember something amazing that Cheryl said? She spoke about students' dignity. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so they had an approach to accessibility across the whole district.
Yeah.
Every pupil had their own device. They had accessibility tools on every device.
Yeah.
And there was a huge emphasis on dignity in learning, so that everything that was done was pedagogy first and then technology second. But every pupil had access to all of the tools that they needed, and every learning experience and everything that was done meant that it was accessible to every student, no matter what their requirements were.
Amazing.
And they put that center stage and made sure that that was in everything they were doing. And the results speak for themselves. They actually had, disadvantaged children that were outperforming some of their other children. And, all of these things are in the webinar with all the links as well. So we do encourage you to go and explore some of the case studies that we've written. And Cheryl actually put the steps in as guidance of how this could be replicated. So the secrets to the recipe to make this all work were shared with us on that webinar. So do go back and have a look at that. So our next webinar that we absolutely loved, that captured our hearts, was Mitsubishi.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We've talked a lot about ThingLink in education. And of course, ThingLink is used in education. It's used in colleges, universities, but it's also used by big industry players such as Mitsubishi. And Mitsubishi Electric, they are not just the cars, they are a division in the UK which is particularly concerned with heating and electric sustainable energy, air cooling systems. Sounds very technical, but what Mitsubishi Electric did, and they shared this on the webinar, is that they were creating the most amazing resources to train engineers, and they were making these immersive experiences accessible, can be viewed on any device. But they also were, usually people would come to the center, and that was lots of travel, lots of disruption.
Yeah.
They created these assets so they could be used in headsets or on devices, and it saved them so much money because people were having this experience. They had the comfort of going through it. It was easy to engage with. But there's a real shortage of engineers in the industry globally. So what they did is they took their examples and they shared them with colleges and universities and schools so that engineers of the future could be inspired to actually enter this industry. So they really partnered with education and took a corporate responsibility to use these assets to inspire the engineers of the future. And I just thought, wow, you just really want all industry partners to then make sure they have a social impact or a social responsibility about the future, because, you know, what will we do if there's not enough engineers in the world? So yeah, big hats off to the Mitsubishi Electric team. We really loved that webinar.
Plus, you know, it wasn't a webinar like the others, to be honest with you. I thought it would be boring. It was everything but boring. That was so fun. Oh my God, it's us. We are celebrating our ThingLink luminaries. Woo! So a special shout out to our incredible ThingLink luminaries, a global community, because we come from all over the world. So we are pushing boundaries. We're sharing best practices, and we try to inspire others through innovative use of immersive media. So we're trying our best. And I would like to praise my community for the creativity and the commitment that we are trying, you know, to put in every single thing we do to inspire teachers like us and, you know, to grow together. So thank you so much for everything that luminaries are giving us as a community every single day. So yeah, that's just amazing.
It is. And if you click on the link when you get this deck, it'll take you to our blog, and each of our trainers has a spotlight post with all of their ideas, their examples that they love, a little bit about them, fun facts, all of these kinds of things. And it's really putting them and their work center stage, which we really want to do. So as Claudia said, a big thank you. Thank you to all of you who are joining us in the webinar today as well. So that's been one of our highlights of 2025. So shall we have a look at some product features?
Yes. So this is amazing, because now we got an amazing new search bar. If you want to find a fun tag that goes with your drawing or with your Canva creation or with the picture that you created with AI or that you took yourself, well, it's easy. It's just there. You can use the tag you want. You can color it as you wish. And there you go. You got an amazing tag ready for your amazing project. And like I did with mine. And then I moved it and voila. Done.
Amazing. And you know, these kinds of developments come from the community. So people that are using ThingLink day in, day out. So Ivan collects all of the feedback, and then we're able to discuss it as a team and see what we can put in right away, what might be a little bit of a longer improvement, or what is a strategic improvement. So that's why it's so important that everyone gives us their feedback, because I think we've got a really great track record of you said, we did, and we'll just keep all of those coming. The next development that we wanted to call out as one of our favorites of the year is the ability to put closed captions to videos in text and media tags. So obviously we've tried really hard to make sure that we're compliant, and we are compliant with WCAG 2.2 and other accessibility legislation. So one of those things that we really wanted to do is to make sure that closed captions are able to be used within the videos in the text and media tags. So I'm just going to hop on over to this ThingLink that I've got created, and you can see here.
Hello,
I've got a video of Hannah Morales, the CEO of the company, and I've just put the text in the tag. This is an onboarding asset for a fictitious company. Of course, we've spun Hannah up there with a little bit of AI, but this is a demonstration asset. So all I need to do, also just to say for those of you who are new to the webinar, is that don't forget we've got immersive reader built in there as well. So you do have text to speech built in. You do have the ability to translate any of those languages, and you've also got text to speech in that language. However, to be completely compliant and to make sure that we have got this option. So if I just click on the edit button, and then you can see I've got the tag there.
Hello, I'm Hannah Morales.
If you scroll down to the bottom of it, you can see that's where I put my media files. Of course, you can add in other media files. When I click on here, it asks me if I want to upload captions. I have my subrit text file there ready. Helpful tip. True to app smashing form, you'll know that I like to play around with tools in my tech stack. And if you use Microsoft Stream, which I found is the easiest option, and you upload a video to it, it will generate the captions for you, and you can download the subrit file. You can even download a Word document with it. So I here have uploaded my captions, click done, and done again, and done again. And here we have
Hello, I'm Hannah.
The video again. And if I hover over these three dots, I can put the captions on. So that's all you need to do. What's the difference between subtitles and captions? Well, of course, captions or closed captions might capture all of the noise and the sound, like a kettle whistling or steam, those kinds of things. Subtitles are just the subtitles of what's being said for language purposes. So yeah, that's just a really great development that we wanted to highlight that came out from this year. Now, another development, Claudia, you particularly like this one.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite that I've just noticed recently, unfortunately. So basically, we can have a ThingLink, and this ThingLink can be translated in many languages. As you might know, where I live, a teeny tiny region of Italy, we are trilingual. So here we have something that I created with teacher of primary school. And here we have the Italian version, but you can totally have the French and the English version of this too. The thing that you have to do, you just go under like where the translation, yes, there, and then you can choose the version that you would like the most. So basically what you do, you're learning vocabulary of 3 languages at the same time. How cool is that? And what effort did you make? Nothing, because basically everything was there and made for you. So win-win situation, amazing, and super impactful for our students. So yes.
Absolutely. And what the new development is that we've added more languages.
Yes,
to
you got
that.
more languages. Yeah.
So yeah, if I just go back into this one here, and then I click on the translate button, these are all of the languages that you can have that whole scale translation. So every single text tag will get changed, plus the information box. You can upload your own JSON files, but what I also find helpful is that you can edit the JSON file directly in there. So if sometimes, you know, you've got different kind of regional dialects and you don't think the translation's right, you can do that directly here. Wow. And then when you've done that, so I'll just change that to, let's change it to, I will change it to Latvian. And I click save and translate. That translation's in process. progress. But when I hit my share button and you hit the share link, you'll also be able to get it ready. So you can choose what language you want to share it in as well. So that's a really big development. And don't forget, it's not just the link. You can also share it with QR code in that language as well. So a very important update. I shall just go back to my deck. Thank you, Claudia. Oh my goodness, the comments that are coming through. Francesco's wow. Lara's doing a big wow as well. Keep the comments coming. Any questions at all, put them in the chat. Lovely comment here from Ona, who's saying the interactivity with such a visuality and UX, user experience, great for knowledge retention, but internal staff, external partners, everyone getting involved there as well. And a nice tip from Ivan there. If your organization uses Teams, you're almost guaranteed to have access to the Microsoft Stream as well. Marit, loving the language options. Thank you. Keep those comments coming. So our next thing that we were going to show is development. Ivan has really helpfully produced a support article for this. So many of you have like a tenancy or a school account or a district account. And if you wanted to manage your users, if they were leaving at the end of a school year, for example, or sometimes you've got staff that maybe leave the organization, we all try and be really on top of our data hygiene and our account security. But what's really great with this is because you can actually set a retention schedule. So inactive users, maybe students get left behind in accounts, you can actually set, and it should say retention, not retention. I'll change that. But it will automatically offboard them for you. So yeah, really great development. Thank you. Smart City Nepal, just saying amazing development as well. Lots of really just like little things that you forget that are going to make a really big difference to managing those district accounts. And of course, you know, if you do decide to delete an account, you can disable it and then delete it after a while as well. You're not going to lose all the content that that person has created because you can transfer it to another person in the organization. So if you've got someone in your organization, they're creating those amazing assets like you saw with Mitsubishi, that if the person creating it leaves the company, it's not going to go with them. You can make sure that it stays within the organization, which is fab. So we touched a little bit on the fact that it's been a big year for XR apps, and some of us use XR headsets. I've got a Class VR one here. I don't have access to a Meta Quest or a Pico or an Apple Vision Pro, which is high end. But ThingLink has been developing those specific apps that live in the App Store so that you can seamlessly use your 360 content or your landing pages or your onboarding materials with the Meta Quest, the Pico, or the Apple Vision Pro, which is coming soon. And if you click on the link here, it will take you to Ivan's support page where there is step-by-step instructions of how to use ThingLink with those headsets. And as we mentioned, right the way through from entry level right up to high end. But shall we have a little look at what it looks like actually in a headset? And I've got a little video here which the team have put together. cool
My
was
God.
that?
Amazing.
Really, really cool. Thank you to our team who put that video together, because sometimes it's hard to visualize what it's like in the headset, because it's quite a personal experience,
Yeah.
isn't it? But you know how the potential is there for people, you know, for a whole host of reasons, who feel that they get a better learning experience on an individual view within a headset, or they want to use their phone, or they want to use their laptop. But the potential to be truly immersed is just unbelievable.
Plus you learn and you don't even understand. I mean, it's not that you're feeling tired or anything, because you're super excited, because you are in a different reality. It's amazing. And then you can also have mixed reality, so you don't feel too much, you know, scared or anything, but you're learning in a different way, and it's so motivating and so fun. So
I mean, when I was at school, we used to get really excited when the big television got wheeled out. And of course, people have bigger televisions at home.
yeah, not anymore, not anymore.
It's
Yeah.
bringing the wow back to back, isn't it, as well? So we've had a question here about the language translation version. So of course, yes, you would put the version in that language onto the landing page. So with your ThingLink account, and I can just quickly go into it now, you can actually create a landing page for your organization, and this acts as the landing page for the Meta Quest headsets. So you have the URL, which you can customize. So this is thinglink.com/o/Nexatech. And then all you need to do is build playlists here, like you would a YouTube playlist. And then you'll be able to add in those different translated examples into your playlist. So yeah, great opportunity there to explore. Lisa's asking about the ThingLink AR app. Yes, the ThingLink AR app is only going to get better and better too. So that capability and the separate ThingLink AR viewer app is still going to be there as well. I know we haven't put a lot of news out about the AR app, and Ivan has confirmed, yes, absolutely, it's going to remain separate, but it is being kept up to date. So little update on VR for you, and AR there as well. So coming soon, what's I don't know what else knows about. Shall we start to show everyone? And I teased it in our community earlier on. I put a little note saying, you've got to watch this, because we've tried really hard to keep ahead of the curve. As many people know, ThingLink is 14 years old now. And although it's matured over the years in size, and obviously we've got bigger communities and more people using it, it hasn't ever rested on developments. And over the years, we've moved from static images, 360 images, videos, 360 videos, and 3D models. So with that in mind, here's some of our new updates that are coming. So I'll come back to that one. So first of all, you'll have seen very recently that we had a 3D object library. And again, you can see my nice 3D object that I've embedded into my Canva deck there. And of course, you can add your hotspots into your 3D objects as well. The 3D library, we are doing some work to at the moment. So that will be back up very, very shortly. But wouldn't it be great if you could capture 3D objects within ThingLink? So you'll remember a couple of years ago that we introduced Pano to 360. And that was in response to the fact that Google had deprecated the Google Street View camera app. Yeah. So you used to have a Google Street View camera app, and you could just take lots of phones, like lots of images like this, like you're in a goldfish bowl, and it would create a photosphere for you. It was really clunky, you know, it was really hard to like take lots of images. So we came out with our own Pano to 360 app, which meant you took one panoramic image and then we filled in the tops and the bottoms with a little bit of AI kind of grading, and you had a photosphere. So we think that that's been really beautifully received by everybody, and we've got students creating photospheres. You know, it's being used without the need for the 360 camera, which always lives in my desk drawer, and I always forget to use it, but I've got my phone with me. So how about if I tell you that in true fashion and tradition, ThingLink are bringing out their own 3D object capture app.
Yes.
Here is a little stool that I have got hold of through one of my colleagues in Helsinki, has taken it as an example as well. So let me just grab that deck and show you. So
Wow.
here it is. It's going to be available on iOS to start with. That's just because iOS has got these capacities. And as I go through, you'll see that these are our mock-ups for it. So you'll be able to open up your app and hit the blue button to create a scan. And what this is going to do is, instead of taking lots of pictures, it's going to use the technology to create a scan. You move around the object and it will then be able, and I've got it here live, so you can see, move your iPhone around. It places a box around the stool that you can see there, capturing all of the object aspects within that box. And there you can see it on the right hand side. You'll be able to scale that model and use it within ThingLink to then start adding tags to. So yeah, only iOS to start off with, Francesco, because of the technologies. A lot of these things come out on iOS first. What I'm able to do there now is I'm able to then show you the next iteration of it, which is going to be not just an object, but also a part of the room. So here you'll be able to take a 3D area mode and then be able to add tags in it. So you will be able to create your own digital twins of an environment and then put your tags in. And of course, you can create a digital twin with a 360 image, but this goes one stage further. It enables you to take the whole area, and that is going to work indoors and it's going to work outdoors as well. So that is coming. That's our big news. That's what's coming down the road. So yeah, super excited about those developments that are coming out. Lots of good comments coming through. What use cases can you see for this, Claudia, for education?
Well, for me, it's going to be storytelling straight away, as you know very well. So basically, you've got this 3D object and you animate it with tags and maybe give, I don't know, descriptions and hints and tips. And then you want your students to create a story on this person. And oh my God, up smashing with Canva. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Amazing, amazing. Lots of opportunities. And of course, we give students the power to create their own 3D models with their phone. That is to say, express their potential, not to be underrated, of course.
Also, many schools are one-to-one iPad, schools or districts, so coming to iPads with LiDAR scanning as well, and be able to use that. So yeah, we're very excited, and we'll keep you up to speed on all of those developments. So the other update that I was really keen to share with you, if indulge me again, everyone in the world knows I've been like captivated by my passion project, which was all about baristas, and I can put the link and share it with you. but I actually built a whole course which is all about becoming a barista. And in the course, you'll see that there's loads of like scenarios. I've been able to embed it into here, which is one of the final assessments as well. But when we go into the scenario here, this is at the back end, there's some really great new developments that I'm able to show you. So the first one that I am really keen to show you is that if I click my share button and get the share link here, and then I pop that into the chat, you will see something new. So you know how scenarios have only had the blue button at the bottom. So here we've got now we have a green button at the bottom. So now you've got customization for branding. So if you are an organization and you want to create onboarding scenarios, you want to create really nice kind of situations where people can try out their own theories or see different endings to a scenario. Oh, Francesco's saying, come to Naples and he's going to buy me a nice coffee. I would love to do that, Francesco. But you can see here, you've got the ThingLink logo. That's just a ThingLink logo, but it can be your brand. It could be whatever you want it to be. So your scenarios are going to be fully branded in your style of your organization. Going back to the scenario builder here, which you can see that super easy, kind of drag and drop, put all these blocks in. If I go into my settings, this is another feature that's been hotly requested by the community. You can add a life cycle to your scenario.
Yeah.
With expiration dates, frequency, and completion criteria as well. So it just gives you those additional types of mechanisms to make sure that you can use it for compliance training, for example. Also coming, which I don't have on mine, but you will see that there'll be a versioning as well. So you can see different versions of your ThingLink, a bit like Google Docs, which I always used to think was brilliant because you could see what people wrote ages ago. And it was great for students who could see how much they'd improved their learning. Yeah. So student creation, you could even go in and see how your scenario has evolved. How about that?
Of course.
So yeah, lots of really nice improvements that are coming to our scenario builder. And if you want to see any of those, then there's a support link there so that you can explore those. As always, big thanks to Ivan. You know, we wouldn't be able to run these webinars if Ivan didn't support us in the chat, but also he produces the most amazing support articles on all of the features, and through the feedback that we get from you, we're able to make all of these developments. So that's the end of our developments and our sneaky peek updates for now. If you would like to come to our next webinar, we're going to be running one on August the 6th. We've got a couple of weeks break. I know that many of you are heading off on your summer vacations. But when we come back, we're going to be looking at interactive simulations in the healthcare settings. Now, this has been an area that's just lapped up the whole ability to create immersive experiences for training doctors, even onboarding medical teams into hospitals, those kind of experiences that just take the heat out of a pressured situation, doing it in a safe environment so that if that situation happens, you might know what to do or feel a bit more comfortable about what to do.
Don't feel scared or shocked because that had never happened to us. You just read it in books. That's, you know, this is a real life scenario. You can actually see what's going on and, you know, act promptly without being scared. So.
And this is an example where they're really showing people around the Centre for Medical Imaging. Now, this could be used for students, but it could be also used for public education as well. So if people are scared about going to the hospital, there's so many beautiful use cases there. We've got our colleague from Nepal, from Smart City Nepal. I always give you a big shout out because, as you know, it's one of my favorite countries in the world. Hats off to the team for such improvements. It has so much to offer. It certainly does. So, Claudia, anything that really jumps out at you from all of the developments? What's been your favorite, do you think?
You know that I've got a soft spot for 3D, so 3D models. So watch this space because I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be amazingness coming. And then, of course, we're talking about ThingLink team, but it's not just what they're doing; it's what they're thinking, and they're creating something that for us as teacher is just going the extra mile and helps us to create amazing lessons, interactive lessons where students are the real protagonists, the real characters of the story. I love that. Oh my god, this is
Ivan
so
just sent me
cool.
this link. I'm going to have to bring Ivan out.
Oh wow, I love
Fine.
it. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Ivan, are
wow.
you going to come out and tell us all about this link that you just asked
Yes,
me
please.
to share?
Yes, please.
Ivan, tell us about the tortoise.
Yes, so props to our colleague Anton, who's not on the webinar but might be in the chat. So this was captured less than 24 hours ago while we were testing the ThingLink capture application that Louise has showcased. So it's an active development. We are already testing what it can produce. So this is a statue next to the Helsinki Zoo called, and I'm sorry for the Finnish people, Korkesaari Zoo. But the great thing that you can see here, and Louise, I don't know if you have a way to show a screenshot to compare what it looks in 3D and then in real life, because
Oh, you'd have to send it to me and we'll put it on a link. Yeah.
Yes,
But
please.
so you'll see it in the follow-up. But one of the options in the app that, again, we'll have more news on it closer to launch is, in addition to capturing your models, like in this example, you'll be able to place these modules in real space, like Liz showed with the example with the chair and our office space. So the image that will hopefully get included will show you the model placed next to the real statue, and I'd like you to try to guess which one is real and which one is
Nice.
amazing. That's so cool. So what we'll do is we'll make a ThingLink, shall we? And then put the picture on the background and then put the 3D model on the top. I think that sounds like a fantastic idea.
Nice. Thank you, Ivan. Thank
you, guys. So once again, thank you everyone for joining us. We love these webinars. We love all your comments. And if you've got any ideas for future webinars as well, then yeah, just let us know. Ivan, thank you so much for answering all the questions in the chat. Was there anything that came out of the questions in the chat that you want to highlight?
So when it comes to new features, we'll have more news closer to launch. At the moment, the ThingLink capture application is being developed for iOS only. We do not have immediate plans to support it on Android. Like Louise said, unfortunately, it's the question of the underlying technology, and then it will be restricted to iPhone and iPads that have a LiDAR. But again, more news and more details closer to launch. But it's a great app, and we are looking forward to sharing more about it, as well as other developments related to it.
Brilliant. Thank you. As always, Ivan, you know there's so much love for you in the community and all the work that you do to support everybody. But all there's left for me to say is thank you again, everyone, for joining us on this webinar. Thank you to my wonderful co-host, Claudia, Ivan in support as well, and all of you for joining us. And have a wonderful, safe journey if you're heading home from your office or your place of work today. If you're watching on the catch-up, we hope that you've had this great experience and you've got all the links. And of course, if you need anything else, then just hit reply. And thank you so much, everyone. Have a really safe holiday if you're having a vacation, and we'll make sure we'll see you on the next webinar. So thank you, everyone. Take care, and it's a goodbye from us, from the entire team. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.